Hi everyone, this is Hareesha from HNB Premier Tax and Accounting LLC. If we haven't met before, I'm a CPA here in Long Island, New York. Today, I want to bring you a topic that a lot of people are thinking about these days: how to choose a good tax preparer, good accountant to help you with preparing your tax returns. So before get to that, I'll tell you a little bit about this channel. So in this channel, we're going to cover a lot of tax topics, personal finance, business finance, how to grow your wealth, to become financially independent, things like that. If you like that kind of content, please consider to subscribe to the channel and also hit the like button. All right, let's get to the topic. We're going to talk about how to pick a good accountant or tax preparer to help you prepare your tax returns. All right, for the upcoming tax season, and then you should know who you're going to meet, and then you should have had first meeting or first discussions with them about upcoming tax season. How to get your taxes done. So also you want to have a kind of the same preparer year after year, so that way they know your finances, your tax file, and then they could guide you and help you to do a better job year after year. And then they could advise you how you could grow your savings, investments, net worth, that kind of stuff, right? So like, let's say if you are in a situation where you're not happy with your preparer, you're looking for a new accountant, new tax preparer. So then this is for you. If you're not thinking of changing your accountant, you could skip. You don't have to watch this video. All right, so you could go to the next one. Like, let's say if you are that person, then this is for you. This is based on IRS guidelines. IRS came up with their tax tips, how to pick a good preparer. So where do you go first you could go to the IRS directory, and then check out the directory if the particular tax preparer you're considering is listed in that directory. So IRS has a directory of all the tax preparers, and then you could search them by first name, last name, and it will give you a lot of information about the preparer, how many returns that they have filed, all of that information, right? So make sure check out the IRS directory, because there are a lot of people that prepare tax returns that they are not qualified to do it, or they haven't got the proper credentials from the IRS. So you don't want to go to someone who doesn't know what they're doing. So next, you should check the preparer's history. You could check if they're registered with the Better Business Bureau. You could check them with the Better Business Bureau, or you could check their reviews on regular sites. You could check their reviews like places like Google or any other kind of sites that allow people to review work of other professionals, and then also we could check if they are like credential preparer, like enroll agent, or a CPA or attorney. If they're enroll agent, IRS keep a list of all the enroll agents, right, who are licensed with the IRS, or who are enrolled to practice with the IRS. Same way, Board of Education of each state keep a list of all the licensed CPAs, and also attorneys. You could get the list. So you could check if the preparer that you're considering are credentialed properly that way. So then when you go to meet a preparer, you want to ask the fees, how much they're going to charge to prepare your tax return. Most of the time you will find preparers charging flat fees, like set fee per return, or a certain number of forms. Or some preparers will charge by the hours that they spend on a tax return. There are some preparers will charge a percentage based on the refund, which is not allowed, which is not legal. So you might want to be careful about that. And also you might be want to be careful about preparers that will say like we'll take a cut of the refund that you're getting. Most of the time what I have seen is people are not even aware how much a portion of refund the preparer keeps, right? So you want to ask specifically how much the preparer's fee. And also you want to be careful about preparers that promise to get you a higher refund. because the preparer cannot inflate the refunds that you're getting. Your refund that you're getting is based on the information that you have. So it doesn't matter you go to preparer A or preparer B, both of them are going to put in the numbers into the tax return, and it should pretty much generate the same kind of refund, unless one of the preparers is missing to put in some information. So if a preparer promises you that they're going to get a bigger refund than anybody else, you got to be think about that twice. Personally, we don't say that. We don't promise anybody that we're going to get a bigger refund. What we say is, we will prepare the return based on the tax rules, tax laws, and then we'll do a good job with the information that we have. And also you want to ask if the preparer e-files the returns or not. Now this day and age, if a preparer says that they don't e-file, that's not good, because first of all, most preparers are required to e-file by law if they prepare above a certain number of returns. Number one. Number two, if you don't e-file the returns, there are a lot of delays, IRS getting you a return and then processing it, and also if you're expecting a refund, getting the refund. So you want to work with a preparer that e-files tax returns. So that's so much better than somebody paper files tax return. Then next thing, you want to make sure that the preparer signs the tax return, right? So you have to when you e-file, you have to give the authorization for preparer to sign the tax return electronically, and then also at the same time the preparer himself or herself has to sign the return saying that they prepared this return. So make sure that preparer signs. So if a preparer says that they're not going to sign your return, so you don't want that kind of preparer. And then the next thing, you might want to check the credentials of the preparer, because if you go with a preparer that are not properly credentialed, such as an enroll agent, CPA, or an attorney, in the event you get audited by the IRS, the other preparers cannot represent you in front of the IRS. Only the enroll agents, CPAs, and attorneys can represent you in front of the IRS. So you might want to make sure that you go with a credential preparer. But sometimes what's going to happen is credential preparers are not going to do tax returns for very, very low cost. But my experience, overall, you're getting a lot more value going with a credential preparer that has a lot of experience, that they could give you advice and then information, and then they could help you to do a better job with your taxes, your finances. The fees that you're paying to them will be way worth. You will get a lot more value than the fees that you're paying. All right, so those are the 5 things or 6 things rather, that you could check to make sure that you're finding a good accountant, good tax preparer to help you with this tax season. All right, so now let's say you have decided on the preparer that you're going to go with. Then you need to know how to be ready for the meeting. Okay, so when you're going to see that, so that way you could have a productive and effective meeting, and then you could optimize the time that they're going to spend with you, so you could get the better value. First of all, what you should do is you should talk to the preparer, and then schedule an appointment. Right, when you schedule the appointment, you could ask, okay, how do I get ready for this meeting? What information I need to put together, bring to the appointment. So most of the time they will give you a list of stuff that you need to bring. So if this is the first year that you're going to them, right? So you want to start with grabbing your previous year tax return. So that tax return has lot of information that your new preparer is going to need. So then let's say you have that covered. So then what you want to do is you want to start creating a tax folder, because the tax documents, you're not going to get everything at the same time. Most of you might have received your W-2s already from your companies, right? So then you're going to get interest income documents, then you're going to get your brokerage documents. So these documents come in different times, sometimes in the mail, So you want to have a yellow folder, set up as the tax folder. So every time you get a document, so you put that, document inside the tax folder. So then by end of January or mid-February, latest early March, you would have received all of your documents, and then put all of your documents in the same folder, and then you could take that folder to meet your tax preparer, right? So, and then also, if you don't get in some documents by mail, you have to you get them digitally. You could download them from your online accounts, or if you get them to your email, you could forward them to your preparer directly. And then next thing you want to do is prepare a list of documents that you have. It's kind of a summary. So if you have 3-4 W2s, so you list all of them. If you have 2 or 3 1099 interest forms, interest income forms, then you list them. And same with the other forms. So when the preparer gets the file, he kind of know easily what documents that he has to deal with. Then you want to, if you're going to your preparer for the first time, right? So you want to have copies of all your driver's license, social security card, your dependents, information, date of birth, all of them properly documented. So that way they will get that information into the return, properly without missing anything. And also, if you're going back to the same preparer and then you happen to renew your driver's license, right? Last year, you need to make sure that, you give them a new copy of the driver's license so they could, put that information in the tax return. Then if you happen to be one of the filers that file Schedule C or Schedule E, so you want to prepare a summary of income and summary of expenses, right? So that way it's easy for your preparer to pick up the information. So if you run a side business, so then you have to list the total of income that you received for the year, and then also you have to list all the expenses, right, related to that business on a separate sheet. And then sometimes you could include all the supporting documents with them as well. If you have to file a Schedule E, you have rental income and expenses, you have rental properties, you have to list all the rental income that you received, separated by property. If you have 3 properties, you have to separate them by each property. And then also rental expenses, mortgage interest, property taxes, things like that. You have to list them properly. And then if you are a Schedule A filer, if you itemize your deductions instead of taking the standard deductions, so you want to list all your medical, expenses that were not covered by the insurance, and then also all the charitable, expenses that, charitable givings that you did, during the year. And also property taxes, if they were not paid through your mortgage, if you paid by yourself, so you want to list them out so the preparer could do a good job picking those information easily into the return. And then this is something that I do with a lot of our clients. Every year we ask them if they are willing to contribute money to a traditional IRA, Roth IRA, right? So you have to decide before you go see your preparer if you're going to invest money into a traditional IRA or Roth IRA. So which is a good thing to do, so because you are increasing your investments. And then at the same time, if you qualify to do a tax deductible traditional IRA, so you'll get a higher refund by doing that. All right. So I actually did a video about how to save a lot of money, and then how to actually become a millionaire saving money in a traditional IRA and getting a tax benefit out of that. So I'm going to leave the link to that video here. So if you're interested, go check it out. So that way, when you go to the meet the tax preparer or your accountant, you could get the best value out of your time. And then also he will like that, because most of the accountant and tax preparers are going to get really busy during tax season, because they get a lot of work to do in a compressed time. And then you don't want to have the situation where that you don't provide any documents, so they miss some documents, and then IRS send correspondences later, things like that. All right. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, leave a comment or get back to us. Good luck with your tax season. And I hope you enjoy this video. Until I see you in the next video, have a good day.